Hey everyone, how are you doing today? So I have a question for you. Food prices are high. They say there's an inflation. They say that the gas prices are going to keep going up. What's going on here? What is all this? They say there's a recession. I have cut my food budget in half. Why did I do that? Yes, you heard me. I cut my food budget in half. We have made a commitment to ourselves for the next 4 months. We want to cut our budget in half for food. And you're probably saying, Lynn, you're not telling us the truth. You're telling us a story. You know, what's going on here? Food prices are high, inflation, recession, whatever you want to call it. It's just, I call it craziness. That's what it is. It's just plain crazy. But it is what it is. I cannot change the price of food. I can't change the price of gas and all the rest. But I have decided, Graham and I have decided, we're going to own what we can own, and that is controlling what we can control in how we do things in our household. So one of the things we did is we got rid of cable. Why am I telling you cable when I'm talking food? We'll get there. We got rid of our cable. We have kept basic internet so I can record and upload and all that. And we have a Roku, so we get lots of free channels and all the rest of it. Some of your phone companies, if you have a cell phone, if you check into them, they offer packages that are like your cell phone bill also includes sometimes Netflix, sometimes Hulu, and sometimes Disney Plus. So you might want to check if you're paying for any of those. Some of the cell phone plans, I have friends and family that get some of those things for free through their cell phone plan. So we cut our cell phone plan a few years ago because I got a discount at work and we saved 20%. Well, then we found even with the 20%, another carrier was cheaper for us to go through than even that carrier that offered the 20% through my work. Well, now we found out another carrier, and we've been doing some investigative work, and so we're changing to that plan, and that's going to save us about $150 a month more. So we're dropping our plan down considerably. We probably lessened our cable bill less than half of what we were paying. We gave up. I didn't have many. I had 1 or 2 subscriptions. My husband likes when I get certain things as a treat for myself, and I think that's wonderful. But for now, cutting back on those, just looking at every dot and tittle that we have on how we can save. I don't have to travel as much, so you cut back that way in terms of gas, but there's certain things you just can't. It is what it is. I have bills, and I talked about that. We're trying to get debt-free. We're working diligently hard on that. So how else can we do things? We went down to our basement yesterday and we were sorting through our basement. We're making a list of things we're selling again on Facebook Marketplace. We're just going through things randomly that we don't need anymore. It might not sound like much, but we have made close to $7,000 selling things, probably more like $8,000 on selling things on Facebook Marketplace. When our transmission and our timing belt went within 2 weeks of each other, we were looking close to $6,000 we had to pay off. We did that in 4 months by selling on Facebook Marketplace and doing anything that we can. Do a yard sale, whatever you have to do, you got to make it happen. So after you've cut all these things out, what's left? There's not much left to cut out. And we want to get out of debt. So we've determined, here's the benefit. Let me tell you, if you don't have a full stocked pantry, this is one of the benefits. I have been stocking, really diligently working since 2019. I mean, I had a fairly stocked, good stockpile. Not huge, but, enough. But since 2019, I have been diligently stocking it. We are at a point now where it is very well stocked. Our freezers are very well stocked. We're a small family, so it's not like I need the size of a grocery store to feed our family. But because of how well stocked we are, we have decided no more buying food, and we are going to live out of our pantries and freezers and only supplement fresh produce, fresh veggies, maybe milk, bread, eggs, things like that. but we don't need to buy a lot of the other things, and we're going to use up what we have. I'd like to try, and the best that we're going to do it for 4 months. It's not a forever. Sometimes we make decisions and in our mind we go, oh, this is like going to be forever. No, it's not going to be forever. It's going to be just for 4 months. And we thought, you know what? That'll be really good. We're going to aim to get by August. Then we're going to reevaluate and see if we can maybe go to the end of the year and live out of our full pantry. I'm not starving. I don't know if I go over all the details with you, but I have a working pantry that I work out of every day, and we have a stockpile that I will occasionally go through. But I'll have to do another video at another. If you're interested, you let me know, because sometimes I feel like these videos become monotonous after a while. But we have 3 categories. We have our working everyday pantry, we have our stockpile, if you want to call it, that we would shop from, and then we have one more category. We have 3 categories. The other one is our 2-week emergency food. So I don't know that I've gone over that. I know I've hinted towards that or talked about it lightly on other videos. But if you'd like me to go over more in detail about the 3 categories and how they work for us and what they are and what is the 2-week one, what is that, I'll let you know. But at this point, our 2 weeks would be our final, we run out of food. I got that. We're not at the point of even getting through our regular everyday pantry. I'd have to eat all that food up first before I'd even eat up all the food in our full pantry or our stockpile. And then I'd hit my emergency food. We're not near that. We won't even be near that in 4 months. So like I said, we're going to aim for 4 months, and at 4 months I might need to refill 1 or 2 of the things, and that's okay, I can do that. But we're really cutting back, and the half that I'm saved from my food budget is going right into the bills. We want to get out of debt, and I am so diligently looking at what can I cut back on, how can I do things, what can I do better. And you know what? It's been good. We're staying home. For me, I'm never home. I'm out and about all the time. I don't mean that bragging. We're just involved in many things. But the nights that we can stay home, we're making popcorn, we're watching a movie, we're cleaning out the basement, sorting through some craft stuff, maybe redecorating a room with stuff that we have in the house, getting those projects done that you just wish you could do. And I said to my husband, I really want to get back into crafting. And I feel like I spent so much time doing so many other things, I haven't had time to do that. So all these things are, you're cutting back on maybe going out because you don't want to use gas, and cutting back here, cutting back there. So any of that extra money that I find at the end of the month because maybe I didn't travel as much or we didn't do as much, all of that is going to be put back into my budget to pay off debt. So yes, we literally cut our budget for food in half. So this half is going to the bills, and this half is going to be replenishing what we need. And we might even be able to cut it down more. If we're living out of our full pantry, everyday pantry, and stockpile. And you know the other thing I'm doing, because I'm pretty much set the menu. I'm going back to my old ways when I was broker than broke, and looking at a meal that I have and how can I make it cheap, frugally, maybe less ingredients, or healthy. I don't want to, we're not skimping on health. I mean, I want to make sure I have healthy, fresh ingredients. But we're a family of 3. And if you're a family of 4 or less, a family of 1 to 4 people, you don't need a lot of food. And I think that's one of the things I got in the habit of making all this extra food, and then it would go in the refrigerator. The end of the week, nobody wanted leftovers. Do we throw it out? Do we throw it in the freezer? When times are good, you tend to be a little laxed on preserving that food and saving that food and being more diligent on using things up in a really good way. When you grew up during the Depression, like my dad would say, you didn't throw anything out. Everything had value. Those potato skins had value. Everything had value. An old tin can you could repurpose for something else. You never threw anything out. we have become a very lazy people in terms of, it's okay, just throw it out, we'll find another one. I'm as guilty as the next person. I think we just didn't realize how much value we need to put on food and the cost of things and so on and so forth. So when I make a salad, I am now doing small bowls of salad for each person versus making a big salad and putting it on the table. Well, there's only 2 out of the 3 of us that eat salads, so I'm not making a big bowl of it. Then the air is getting exposed to it and it goes quicker. I can make 2 small salads, and that's perfectly fine. The rest of it stays put in the bag. If I'm making something with ground beef, I am trying to either supplement it with like lentils or maybe extra vegetables or something so we don't need as much meat. And if I make chicken, cutting it back. How much chicken do I really need? How much chicken am I going to need to not only do dinner, but maybe one other meal? But don't be too aggressive in how you're making this meal because you don't want all this leftovers that you're probably going to end up throwing out at the end of the week. I made 2 hams. We had I made 1 ham and my mother made a ham. One was a spiral ham, one was a canned ham. We have so much ham left between those 2 hams that I just said to my husband tonight in the car on the way home, I said, you know what? I probably, because we're a family of 3 and there's that much ham that we have, I probably would not have to buy ham for a year with the amount of leftovers we had from the 2 hams. Well, how much ham do we need at a meal? Couple slices each and that's it. So we have cut back on portions. We've cut back on how we cook, the way we cook, kind of pre-setting your plate. Like here's, mashed potatoes, corn, and a vegetable and a meat on everybody's plate versus just putting the plates out there. I'm not depriving anybody of seconds. If they're hungry, there's plenty of food. But when you portion it out onto the plate, you tend to eat what's on the plate and not keep filling the plate back up. And I'm telling you, it's paying off for us because I'm finding we're eating less food. Either we're eating less food and the food is starting to multiply in my refrigerator because I'm finding I have so much extra food and I'm cutting back more and more. I just wanted to come on here and encourage you to tell you it can be done. You can cut your grocery bill in half. Even during hard times, inflation, recession, high prices, and all the rest. You just have to make up your mind, I'm determined to do this. If you have debt, that is the one thing during the recession and these hard times and high prices. I hear it over and over, and I'm going to tell you, I am as guilty as the rest of you in having excessive debt that we should not have. I'm getting out of debt. We are very close to it. But if you have any debt, I would say any way that you can cut back and get yourself out of debt, that's number 1 priority. And we don't have to just stick to if your budget's $500 a month for food or whatever, $600, $800, whatever it is, you don't have to say, well, I have that much to spend. No, cut it in half. And then even maybe kind of try and save $25 a week out of even that much money. So at the end of the month, you have an extra $100 that you can put toward maybe something frivolous that you just want to do to treat yourself, that you've worked really hard this month and you've done well, and then maybe treat yourself going out to dinner. So that's all I have got to say tonight. Thanks for coming over, and don't forget, I will catch you all on the next video.